just realized that I had all four of these types together. I just figured I would take a video. It's kind of like an evolution here. This first one, this was returned by the owner for some minor repairs. This was made in 2015, but I started making these years before that. But this is what I would guess I would call my original version. Use a vector style program to create the display, essentially from points. And it was just needed some minor repairs, but the screen has a little bit of burn in. You can kind of see it, but it's still got a lot of life in it. For 2015, being 8 years ago, that's not bad. Then and then I created this version, which I'm currently selling, and this is a different approach where I used instead of using vectors, I actually used an analog circle generator. You can see on the board that the hardware is different, especially in the digital portion of the board. So it essentially, it's a different approach. Instead of just drawing the vectors to create the display out of dots, it draws lines. It draws continuous lines, arcs, circles, and then those are pieced together, sliced and diced by the pick, which is also using a pick, is what drives the first one, and this one's using a pick, and that's what creates that display. And this one is currently for sale if anybody's interested in this. It's on Etsy, eBay, and others, Tindy, and on my own site. You'll find the link to that in the description. And then moving on to this one, this is using an ESP32 to drive instead of the pick. And the reason that part of the display appears a little dim at times and appears to move across there is because this one's running a lot faster than the other ones, and so this iPhone video, see, it's dimming around the circle, but that it doesn't really appear like that in reality. Your eyes won't see it. It's bright all the time, all of it. But it looks that way because the iPhone camera can't do what your eyes can do. Anyways, this is another approach I came up with after the second iteration, and this is one that creates the display out of pixels by using something similar to a raster, but it ain't a raster. That's all I'm gonna say. You figure it out. This is a lot more detailed than the first one because it's most similar to the first one, but on this first one you got where I digitized my hand-drawn numbers and used those, where instead on this one I digitized the font from my laptop, the Century font, because that's what looked the best with it. And I found that with the ESP32 you had to use more of a, well, I didn't have to, but I used a toroidal transformer because on the original versions I just used standard transformers, but this one, it seemed to be more sensitive to EMI, and toroidal transformers generate a much smaller magnetic field, so they don't cause nearly as much interference. And then moving on to this last one, which is the latest one, also driven by an ESP32. This is a prototype, that's why it's got the extra little board piggybacked on there. Also using a toroidal transformer. And all these four are driving the same CRT, by the way. This is actually a, it's like the minute hand is off there. I still got a little work to do on the firmware on this version. This is a prototype, and I did iron that out. I forgot. But this is a prototype, and I didn't go back and update the firmware on it, not yet. But this one is actually another version of this one, using the same type of approach, using an analog circle generator to generate continuous lines and arcs and circles. Since we're talking about the ESP32 and runs so fast, it has the same persistence of vision thing as this one does, because the ESP32 runs at about 64 megahertz, and the PIC's top speed is something like, the ESP32 actually runs at a blistering 240 megahertz. You can imagine that being fast, and the PIC is stuck back on the 64 megahertz. That's like its top speed. This is the vehicle's top speed. Well, so that's it, more or less. Like I said, these are all the same CRT. They're Soviets. 6LO1I, at least that's what I call them. And the green blue, that's created by the LED shining up inside of it. I don't know why, but this one seems to look best with a green LED, so I use that. Maybe others would look better. I know, I've tried this one and I've tried this one with the green LED. It just doesn't look as good. But maybe this one might. I haven't tried that yet. Maybe I will. Since it's the same type of approach as this one, it might have the same effect, might look good. Any of these, well, except for the first one, this is already owned, and it's being returned to its owner soon. But the other three are for sale. You can find them. Like I said, I'll leave the link to the site in the description. But this is it's just how they look. It's a comparison. And thanks for watching.